I'm recording right now. So we got you. I got you.
Don't make me panic like that.
Oh man. Holy shit, I can see you.
I'll tell you what helps. There was a film, like a protective layer on
Ah,
this little computery thing, and I took it off, and that really helps.
yeah,
Still
it does.
learning.
Computer savvy. So holy shit. Yeah. It's fucking video. What the fuck's that about?
I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, so this is what the kids are calling a Zoom meeting. And we're on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yay. Both of them. There's two, right? YouTubes.
It's one.
Is there a kids one? There's a premium, so there's three. So we're on the YouTubes. We're probably on the premium one. We're probably not on the kids one. We're most definitely not on the kids one because I checked that box.
Denied.
Yeah, that's right. This show is not for adults, as you can see. We've got the marijuanas. We've got the fucking cussing and shit and fucking shit and stuff and balls. Yes, and we stuff some balls. I'm injured. I hurt myself. And I got a concussion. In fact, I almost did not do this because half the day I was laying in bed nauseous. I could not get up. I slept until like 12:30 today because of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I got the sling and shit.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's all right. I've got my marijuanas, and it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Look into the camera, Darby.
I'm not doing it either. I'm like really trying to find where am I not getting a glare on my glasses.
Oh, fuck. So how's your week been?
Good. My brother was in town. Quick visit, which was awesome.
Yeah. Did you ever get the name of his unit or whatever?
You know, I tried to ask, and it kind of sounded like he didn't have one. He just works with a lot of different ones.
So you are on video and audio saying that your brother does not have a unit.
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't know that it has like a fancy name. I don't know. I asked my mom. I should have asked him.
Katie's brother, your sister says that you don't have a unit. And all the people that you record, thank you for everything that you do.
I believe that he has a unit. I just got it. I'm always late to the game.
Yeah. Nothing but sophisticated jokes here. That's why. Yeah, that was a thing.
Ooh, that was loud. So this week I've also been like kind of sick. It's allergy season in Florida, so weird timing since it's all COVID-y and people are weird. Yeah, so I've been just down in the local honey.
Oh, sorry.
It helps.
Yeah, that's supposed to help. I've heard that helps a lot.
Yeah, it honestly does. I have to do it every season change. I take like a tablespoon every morning or night, and it helps. It really helps.
Do you get the raw honey, or do you get the like it's boiled or something? Or
No,
I forget.
no.
What is that? Is that what they do to like process it? They boil it to pasteurize it or some shit?
Oh, probably. I don't know. We actually sell it at our market. There's a lady, Queen Kathleen. She does a local honey. You're supposed to have honey within like 30 to 40 miles of where you live, so it's pollinating with the same things that you're breathing in. Is the whole purpose of taking. Right.
It's like you're inoculating yourself.
Yeah.
Little life science for you guys.
Yeah, but it really does help. And because I've been here 3 years, but it's still new compared to everything I've been breathing in my entire life. The grass is different, the tree, everything's different. And so it really does help. She has a really good wildflower honey, and we do that. So
good. Good. Yeah. You know where you wouldn't have allergies though?
Tell me.
Venus. Nice segue, right? You like that?
Always is.
Fucking Venus. Did you hear about this?
You were telling me a little bit.
So, okay. So this is super exciting, except I'm skeptical about what everybody is saying about it, but they found perhaps biologically formed gases on Venus via spectroscope. So from theguardian.com, traces of a pungent gas that waft through the clouds of Venus may be emanations from aerial organisms, microbial life, but not as we know it. Astronomers detected phosphine 30 miles up in the planet's atmosphere and have failed to identify a process other than life that could account for its presence. Now, that's a big if. Because we can't duplicate it, or we haven't been able to duplicate it, does not mean it can't be duplicatable. The discovery raises the possibility that life gained a foothold on Earth's inner neighbor and remains and remnants clung on or floated on, at least as Venus suffered runaway global warming that made the planet hellish. So there are organisms and stuff, and this is what I know from planetary science. There are organisms called extremophiles that like extreme cold and like extreme hot. Venus, as we know, is extremely hot. It's not only hot, it's a lot more dense. The atmosphere is a lot more dense. Therefore, there's a lot more gravity. There's a lot more pressure on people on the surface. It's about the same. It's roughly the same size as Earth, so the gravity isn't more intense. It's just yes, you would not be able to jump. You would be crushed, but you would be cooked before you were crushed, or maybe you'd be cooked and crushed at the same time. It's like a pressure cooker.
Sounds awful.
That's while you are dying from the sulfuric acid gas and everything in there. So I mean, like, don't go to Venus. It's not a good vacation spot.
Oh, bummer. Let me cancel that trip.
I know you bought those tickets, which I'm
non-refundable.
Yes, that's it's kind of your fault. You probably should have checked. You should have checked with somebody first.
Buy tickets.
But that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Guess what else?
Tell me.
This is the Higher Minds Podcast. I'm Papa Darby.
And I'm Katie.
Yeah, you can see because it's written. I think we're going to be labeled on the video. I'm not sure. I'm seeing in the meeting that we're labeled now. I don't know if that's going to transfer for the recording. Let me make sure we're still recording. I have no idea how that's going to edit too. So all of the mistakes and shit is going to
cut.
all of the mistakes and shit that we do are going to be in this episode.
You get the outtake.
Yeah, because I do cut out a whole lot on every single episode. All 80 episodes that we do before. Oh, you know what? Let me make that correction. I said 2 episodes before that we were on the 80th episode. That was incorrect. The 80th episode was the last episode. So
okay, all right.
A correction for the first video. Like and subscribe. Are we supposed to say that yet?
Should I do one of these guys?
And point at stuff that's not there?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, we're YouTubers now.
Boom.
Okay. So now you know who we are, you know what we did, you know about the news. Who are we talking about?
We are talking about Edgar Cayce.
And do you know how we know that? I'm not sure if you've noticed, but throughout researching Edgar Cayce, I grew a birthmark. It's naturally occurring, not mascara. It's just kind of what happens when you go into a deep dive into Edgar Cayce, because he's all into the seance shit. I would use 2 hands.
I'm hiding mine.
Yeah, she's not as open with it, but me.
I'm a mom, so mine automatically is on the back of my head.
Right. That's what happens.
Really checks for it sometimes.
It does like poke you in it, and you're like, ow, ow.
Look, he's like, what? Are you sure it's in there? Yep.
So, Katie, who's Edgar Cayce?
Okay, so I'll back it up.
Let's back
Edgar
it up.
Cayce, back it up. You guys are gonna get to see all that, so that's good.
I totally cut that shit out. Yeah.
So Edgar Cayce, he was born on March.
It's a mystical month. It's kind of like March. It's in between May and September, which is
somewhere
in the mystical calendar. Those 2 months are butted up together. It's weird. It's like time doesn't make sense and everything. Dimensions and whatnot. Episode number 5.
Go listen. I clearly need to again. So March 18th, 1877, near Beverly, which is south of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. He was one of 6 children of farmers Carrie and Leslie Cayce.
6 children were of varying ages.
Yeah, not.
they went a litter. I don't know why I felt like I needed to add that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just kind of figured maybe he was half dog. I don't know.
Maybe he was the runt.
He was. Did you see a picture of him? He looks really runty and like fucking
he did.
squirmy. Like, I'm sure he was a wonderful guy.
I'm sure. Please don't haunt us. I feel like, yeah, he looked small. Like he might
tell his mom on you all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Mama said.
My mama said. Yep. So he was had some gifts, some special gifts, and he was able to see and talk to his late grandfather's spirit. So interesting.
Yeah. Hey,
he also.
Let's back it up a little bit further. Did you get to culture?
You want me to do that first?
Yeah, let's do that one first.
Okay.
Let's set the mood.
Oh.
So now you know who Edgar Cayce is. You know that he was squirmy.
That.
Worm-like.
So, okay. Yeah. Let me just skip on down here. He was like a clairvoyance kind of a thing. I wrote the actual definition down.
A spiritualist.
Spiritualist. Psychic. Yeah, medium. I think that one kind of embodies him too.
He actually he wasn't so much of a medium as he was kind of extra.
Sometimes it takes me a minute to look back over you and see the weird thing you're doing.
Making jokes.
So clairvoyance in French means clear seeing. So knowledge of information not necessarily known to any other person, not obtained by ordinary channels of perceiving or reasoning, thus a form of extrasensory perception. ESP. So spiritualists also use the term to mean seeing or hearing, which would be clairaudience, the spirits of the dead that are said to surround the living. So research, sorry, I lose my spot so much and now everyone's going to be able to see.
And we're not cutting it out.
I know.
You're totally going to fart in the middle of this.
This laugh really still does it for you. And it doesn't help when I interrupt myself. So testing the subject's ability to predict the order of cards in a shuffled deck has yet to be provide conclusive support for the existence of clairvoyancy.
Case as an example, you've seen Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Have you seen Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Okay. At the beginning, Dr. Peter Venkman has the two guys, the two people. They're trying to test for clairvoyance. He's holding up a card backwards so he can only see it, and he's letting the two people guess what they are. In the movie, it's a guy, just some college kid, and a pretty college girl. He's working at a college, and the guy is getting each one right. But the punishment for getting him wrong is to get buzzed, like electrocuted, which he does every time and told he was wrong, even though he's getting it right. And he's telling this pretty college girl that she's getting it right. And it's a whole comedy bit, but actually that is based on a true experiment that we can get into later.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Are we going to do it?
Not in this episode, some other.
Okay.
Well, that particular experiment requires physical pain, and I don't have the stomach for cruelty.
Fair enough. So some usage pertaining to the ability of clear-sightedness. Clairvoyance refers to the paranormal ability to see persons and events that are that are distant in time or space. It can be divided into roughly 3 classes. Oh man, I'm gonna just block you out so I can not lose my spot. Roughly 3 classes. What is happening? Are you smashing my head?
I'm crushing my head. I'm crushing my head. We could do this now because we're on YouTube and people are gonna see this stupid shit that we do. Well, I say we, but I really mean me.
Really you. So.
You read the script. You go by the book.
I'm going to do it to you while you're reading and see how you like it. Yep. So oh man, I wish I knew how to read words.
Precognition?
Yes. Okay, I was right. That doesn't sound like a real word. Someone back me up here. It does not.
That's
The
from
ability.
Minority Report.
Huh?
That's from Minority Report. Hey, back up from your mic a little bit. Not that far, just a little bit. Yeah. You're getting a little peaky at the upper end.
Peaky.
And now our
Peaky boo.
Anyway.
Oh, good.
First episode.
Precognition. If I say it right? If
Yes.
I say it faster and like I know what I'm saying, it's better. The ability to perceive or predict future events. Retrocognition, the ability to see past events. And remote viewing, the perception of contemporary events happening outside of the range of normal perception.
That makes your car go beep boop.
Beep, boop, boop.
Boop, boop. Remote viewing.
So medium, well, I'll read this and then you can, maybe I was thinking more of the movie, but medium in occultism is a person reputably able to make contact with the world of spirits, especially while in a state of trance. A spiritualist medium is the central figure during a seance and sometimes requires the assistance of an invisible go-between or control. During a seance, disembodied voices are said to speak either directly or through the medium. Materialization of a disembodied spirit or a specific part of a human body can allegedly take shape from a mysterious substance called ectoplasm that exudes from the medium's body and subsequently disappears by returning to its original source. At times, the medium or material object appears to float in the air, levitation. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking the movie, but the way that Edgar kind of like naps per se to like get into this trance and kind of float between past, present, different people to get like these remedies for these healings kind of reminded me more of the medium side of this whole thing. So,
right.
I definitely think he's kind of both.
Yeah. One thing you didn't say, I noticed about a medium is also lukewarm and pink on the inside.
He's here all night.
At least for the next hour or so, right?
At least for the next hour. Real quick, I got my my sources are Wikipedia.
Thank you.
Always, and then edgarcayce.org. He's an interesting guy. I read through that pretty much that whole website, of like buying the books. And it was really interesting, and it's interesting to see the works that are kind of still happening and how well documented all of his like readings were. There's like a library that's open like Monday to Friday you can go to, or you can pay for the subscription and like have access to them online. They're kind of hard to read. It's like reading a dictionary. I was kind of like shuffling through some of them like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, and I have some of them too.
And then these I got from like dictionary.com or whatever. Because I wanted like actual definitions. Because I don't know, I feel like you hear a lot of the stuff, and especially now, like some of the stuff's kind of trendy. It feels like holistic and Reiki and crystals and healing, and it's kind of a thing right now. So maybe you hear it more than you actually know what it is and what the differences are. So I wanted to like make a point. So
I wouldn't say it's trendy now. It is, but I think it's
more
of a
it seems like
it's a resurgence.
People were. Yeah, that's a better thing. It's a come around.
Yeah, I mean, during this time, Edgar Cayce, and there was I forget there was other famous mediums, but the culture was what would I say? The public interest was totally macabre. They were totally into seances. They were into true crime. Jack the Ripper happened during this time, or at least was that might be incorrect, but I think that Jack the Ripper and Edgar Cayce lived at the same time. That might be wrong, but they were into true crime. They were into the supernatural, and that kind of stuff is becoming more accepted in culture now, in my opinion, at least to me.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
People
So we
growing
did.
eyes on their forehead in triangles.
I was trying to guess what you were gonna say with this magic blunt.
the magic blunt. I like that.
Thank
It's got
you.
mushrooms in it.
It doesn't, but that would be cool. It'd be real cool if it did. I'll write up. Okay, what was that guy's name? All those memes always like, it'd be real cool if you did.
Maybe it would be.
Matthew McConaughey. Is that his name? Is that who does that? I don't remember.
That's fucking McConaughey from Half Baked, or not Half Baked, Dazed and Confused, isn't it?
I don't really know. He was in.
You fucking millennial.
I don't watch a lot of movies. You of all people should know this.
That movie's from like 78. You should have watched that when you were a teenager.
Should I have?
No, it's actually kind of creepy. There's a line in there where he's like out of high school and he's hitting on high school chicks and he's like, the older I get, or I get older and they stay the same age, and it's super creepy, and it's like, I don't want to watch that anymore.
I see him. He was in like some like later early 2000s movies. Those would be more what I saw him. What was that one where like he never moved out of his parents' house?
Failure to Launch.
Oh yes.
I am just a treasure trove of Matthew McConaughey.
You really are. So we watched a movie for this. The Haunting in Connecticut. So
it's one of my favorites.
Another movie I had not seen. I also I don't not like them. I just don't watch many scary movies.
I love horror movies.
Yeah, a lot of people do, and I don't not like them. I really don't. It's just like the consequence of like watching them is not really fun for me.
Nightmares and stuff.
Because I'm like a baby. I'll have night
terrors and stuff.
It's not fun to be this old and like wake up like someone's gonna kill you. Okay, speaking of weird things happening and people barging in your house to maybe kill you, I was in the garage flipping a load of laundry and a grown man is in my house and says, "Fire department." I'm like, what the fuck? It was terrifying. I ran out so fast because both the boys were just like in the living room kicking it, and some man is in my house. And it legit, there was a fire truck outside and like medics like ready to barge in my house because they got the address wrong.
Oh, that's what happened to Breonna Taylor. Say her name. Hashtag BLM.
So he's like, "Did you not call us?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Is my house on fire? Like, do you want to check that?" Like, it was terrifying. Much like this movie kind of was. It really wasn't that bad. There was just some like jumpy parts that those make you jump, and I just hide the pillow, and it's much easier.
It makes me not want to make my basement, my bedroom, the basement.
I've done it several times, and
I have too, but not since this movie.
So we'll have to post the picture of the cover of it because I saved a couple other pictures I want to post of Edgar and some different quotes of his that I thought were interesting.
We do need to put a blog up for this.
Lifting. Yeah, I'll do that one because I already saved them all.
Oh, cool.
So, but anyways, the cover of this, The Haunting in Connecticut, has the young fellow with the ectoplasm thing like shooting out of his mouth, and it was gross.
It's not pretty.
The movie.
You ever seen Childbirth? Yes,
I have.
It's two notches less gross than that, which is still really fucking gross.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's terrifying, and the aftermath is terrifying, and it weirds me out that all these women are like, once they come out, you don't remember that pain. I'm so calling bullshit. If I think hard enough, I still clench up. Like, it's not, it does not go away.
I remember that fucking pain. Yeah, I saw both of my kids being born, and I mean, I'm glad that she went through it. But yeah, it was not the actual. Never mind. Go watch YouTube. You'll find some.
I watched my first one. I watched all kinds of videos. I'm like, you know what? I need to see some honesty up in my life because people do not tell you the things you need to know about the nitty gritty. And when anyone I know asks me, I sure tell them the truth. I hate to break it to you, but here's the list of shit that's about to go down.
Granted, I was up for about 23 hours at the time, but I actually once my daughter started crowning, like I started to pass out. I didn't actually pass out, but Somebody had to catch me as I was falling backwards. That actually happened. That's a true story.
That's funny. Mine all came real fast. I'm so thankful. Once it started, there they were. Okay, so back to this movie. No more graphic childbirth. But yeah, that's what this picture kind of reminds you of.
Yeah.
So the like movie, whatever, is a mom, like a little family, and the oldest son has cancer, and so they're traveling back and forth a lot, and they move into this house closer to the hospital. Rent's pretty cheap, and well, there's a reason. So the basement he chooses as his room, and it has this like weird part sectioned off, but like with a legit like door and like wood and like that like frosted like translucent glass that you would see like in an old timey like news station. It reminded me of like Dick Tracy, like door and curtains. Anyways, and it was locked though, and they couldn't get in. And when they did, he was like seeing this guy, this boy, I don't know, and he lets them in. He was the one that let him in, right? And it looked like maybe the house was like a funeral home, and that wasn't true either. What?
There you go.
So yeah, some bad things were happening in this house. They were doing these like seance type things and using this younger boy as like this medium, I guess, for this ectoplasm to talk to people. And something went awry one night. 5 people died. Started haunting stuff.
During a seance.
Yeah.
Something that Edgar Cayce did.
Yes. That's how this is all coming together here. Is this is a lot of similarities for sure, but it kind of like got me into the dark ugly side of it, I guess. I don't know, is there a light happy side of it? I don't really know.
Yeah, Casper and shit.
I mean, I guess he was like you'll see when I read my part, like he's he seems like he genuinely wants to help people. He's like of faith, like his like prayer was to help people, specifically like young children who are sick. So that was his kind of like mission with his gift.
You're talking about Edgar.
Edgar, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the movie was terrifying, and you made me watch it at night, and that's what I have to say about that.
I turned all my lights off.
I turned all of my lights on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we watched it together like real friends. It was cool.
Yeah.
We don't live near each other, so we have to just pretend.
Yep.
So, okay, back to my other page. So, sorry, I have so much snot, and it's nighttime, and so it gets real. I blew my nose so good before we started. Okay. So, I'm going to start over in case you forget his birthday, because it's so important. It's not. March 18th, 1877, one of 6 children. So it talks about how he was able to see his late grandfather, and that he often played with imaginary friends who were said to be like spirits of the other side, and kind of he regarded them all as like incorporeal, not made of matter.
Oh, incorporeal.
Okay, man, I always have it wrong. Sorry. Anywho, and so he could like see like through them if he tried. So he knew they weren't like obviously real.
Evil people.
Yeah. So that's I think from an early age they just kind of knew like something was either off. At the time they probably just thought something was like off with them. I missed what you said.
I said there's something strange with this kid.
Yes, for sure.
They gave him this look a lot.
Go to your room. So this he found it kind of difficult to keep his mind on his lessons at school, and he so he kind of struggled there for a while. But he was taken to church when he was 10, and he from there then he read the Bible. He read the Bible cover to cover once every year.
Yay.
I know, that's crazy. I've not done it.
I did. I went to a Catholic high school. I have read the Bible from beginning to end. Some really cool stories.
Yeah.
Actually, I took a class
Obviously
in
read a
college
lot of
too.
it. It's never like a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, he completed reading it a dozen times by the time he was 12. So in 2 years, he'd read it 12 times. That's impressive. Because that's a wordy book too. I'm sure he didn't have like the Message version.
I read the Cliff's Notes.
So in May of 1889, while reading the Bible in his hut in the woods, creepy, he saw.
Yeah, Mom, I'm in the hut reading the Bible.
But you know what? We had like forts and stuff in the woods when we were kids and didn't think nothing of it.
Yeah.
Creepy and scary, and we should never be in the woods alone.
I totally went out to the woods to read the Bible. That's totally what I did.
I did not read my Bible. I picked blackberries and scavenged, I don't know, picked up rocks and sticks. Super cool kid. So anywho, while reading his Bible in his hut in the woods, he saw a woman with wings who told him that his prayers were answered. Lucky.
Did she say which prayers?
Well, that was my thing. Like, your prayers are answered. Like, he only prayed once in his life and asked for something. I don't know. But asked him, I guess they did ask, asked him what he wanted most of all. It says he was frightened, but he said that most of all, he wanted to help others, especially sick children. And he decided that he would like to be a missionary. So the next night.
This was before he discovered cocaine. After that, he wished for other stuff.
All his priorities changed. So the next night, after a complaint from the school teacher, his father ruthlessly tested him for spelling and eventually knocked him out of his chair with exasperation. So sounds like Dad's got a little bit of an anger issue.
I mean, everybody is COVIDing now, so I'm sure a couple of parents can relate.
Felt like knocking mine down a few times. Yeah. So at that point, Cayce heard the voice of the lady who had appeared the day before, and she told him that if he could sleep a little, they could help him. So they, I assume, being angels. He begged for a rest from his dad and put his head on the spelling book, like this. When his father came back into the room and woke him, he knew all the answers. He, in fact, could repeat anything from the entire book. So much so, his father thought that he'd been fooling around before and knocked him out of the chair again.
So that's kind of an asshole.
Sounds like he had a bad day. Maybe Mom should have took this one.
He ran out of whiskey.
So he could repeat anything in the book. Eventually Cayce used this for all of his books at school. And it feels like then reading the Bible every year would be easier if you just had to like sleep on it.
I mean, that's what he did. I mean, he didn't actually. That's what he meant. He fell asleep that one night. It was the Bible that time.
Got it.
But learning by osmosis, that's like that's the dream of every kid taking tests. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a great thing.
Dream.
That's like Matrix style, kind of awesome.
I am I could take a test on the alphabet right now and probably get like a D.
If he slept on a book of Kung Fu, could he learn Kung Fu?
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. I don't own the rights to that. Do I need to say that every time I sing something?
Yes. Every time.
Every time.
Unless you sing it yourself. Like if you make up a song, like I just wrote that so I don't have to tell anybody about that.
I do that a lot with my kids while we're driving. A lot. And he's just like, "Is that a real song?" I'm like, "No, not even a little bit." It's always to like the tune of a real song. But
you need to start telling him they are.
Yeah.
So
singing them at school and think they're like legit songs.
Right. And it's like, and then he'll get his entire grade singing a song that you just made up in the car that morning. They'll have like a whole dance number and shit. Like,
would it be the worst thing?
High School Musical.
I mean, it sounds awesome. My songs are sick, dude.
Right. Zac Efron will come in and sing that something. I don't know. Some song.
Well, he's on to like being healthy and traveling, isn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does he even sing anymore?
I don't know. He might. I'm sure he does.
I don't know anything
I'm
about
sure
him.
He does.
I don't know that I've ever seen him in anything but that show.
Did you see America's Dick?
What?
Captain Chris Evans, Captain America, leaked his cock photo.
What?
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh my god, that was like all weekend.
Impressive.
I didn't see it. Everybody's praising him for it.
Good to know.
And so then he said, so what happened is he was sharing his photo gallery. Check your fucking photo gallery. I can't share a fucking page on mine.
Hell no.
But so yeah, he shared that, and there was a dick pic was part of it, and he tweeted it out, and he erased it, and then
screenshotters got it.
Yeah. Then his next tweet was, "Now that I have your attention, go vote on November 3rd." So that's awesome. Kind of.
That's all it takes. I mean, yeah, I might go vote. I'll have to see the pitch first. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It's better than Donald Trump's. do.
Okay, no, I don't know that either. So
Mario, he's got a mushroom dick.
Hey, what kind of pants do Mario and Luigi wear?
What kind?
Denim.
Ah, that's funny because it's true too.
And that's one of them, and they're always a hit.
Oh, I hope we hear it every episode.
No, I'll give you my other joke next time. Don't let me forget. It's a good one.
Okay.
I only have two. One's dirty and one's kid friendly. So
we only tell kid friendly jokes on this fucking show.
Just in case we make it on YouTube Kids.
Cock and balls and vagina.
Race. So
anyway, that's not in the Bible, which is
so by 1892 the teacher regarded Cayce as his best student. On being questioned, Cayce told the teacher that he saw pictures of the pages in the books. His father became proud of this accomplishment and spread it around, resulting in Cayce
fucking douche. I don't like his dad.
Knocked him straight out of the chair twice.
I want to kick him in the balls. Straight in the taint.
Ouch. So he kind of spread it around his accomplishments, that Cayce then kind of became different, obviously, from his peers. So shortly after this, Cayce exhibited an ability to diagnose in his sleep. So he was struck on the base of the spine by a ball in school, like baseball game. Like his tailbone? Yeah, I guess.
Ouch.
Base of the spine, I mean.
I'm adjusting mine right now.
So after he began to act very strangely and eventually was put to bed, he went to sleep and then diagnosed the cure, which his family prepared, and he cured himself as he slept. So his father boasted that his son was the greatest fellow in the world when he's asleep.
I don't like that motherfucker.
I even highlighted that so I would make sure to remember to be like, what the fuck? He's the greatest fellow when he's asleep. I feel like that about my kids too sometimes, though. They go to bed and I'm just like, Jesus, they're so precious. Only when they sleep. No, I'm just kidding. They're precious all the time.
So he died.
Okay, so
what was his ailment? That he got hit?
So yeah, that's kind of, I think, how he kind of like, it was kind of like reading, like that's how he first realized like he could do this, which it does say that he didn't demonstrate this particular part for like several more years, but that he'd gotten injured by getting hit in the back and while he was asleep, because that's kind of how he helped people. I keep saying help because I don't really.
He was known as the sleeping prophet. He would talk in his sleep and had a bunch of prophecies that actually a lot came true, and I'll get into that later. But cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just that he slept, and while he was asleep, that he would talk to people past, present, see things on how to heal like physical ailments. Like you could go and be like, I got a back injury from getting hit with a ball in school, and he would figure out or asking people blah 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 how to fix it, and then would do that.
So I'm having a problem with his diagnosis and what the cure is for getting hit by a fucking ball. Like the cure for that would be rest, right? So like his dad is like, that kid is sleeping, so oh my god, he must be diagnosing himself with getting hit by something and he needs to sleep, so that's what we're fucking doing for him. He's such a genius. Yeah, it doesn't track for me, at least not that.
No, I mean, I probably could have looked it up because it was his first one and I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But because they might have said more because they were all documented. Like it was like, let me scroll down because I wrote it down.
It's because his dad was a meticulous douchecock.
You know, he was his agent. He probably would have sold him out for his butt in no time. 14,306 readings in the database. That's crazy.
Yep, that's what I got too.
Yep. So I just,
and I'm going to repeat that.
I figure out how to highlight stuff on here in Word. So little fun facts I want to remember, I highlight, and it makes it really easy to find. So I'm learning. Learning basic stuff I should have done in high school.
It's okay.
But yeah, that's kind of his early, and then rutabaga, and then I have a couple more things I want to. Obviously, I don't know what you're going to say, but because I do not have any kind of psychic ability, but
because you didn't grow one of these things. Because I knew everything.
But you know what? We'll see how yours goes because you smeared half of it off already.
Oh.
I tried to tell you. I watched you. I was like, "Oh, your eyeball," and then I was like, "Oh, it's already over." I just got a fucking triangle on his head.
Which I can dig it. That's all right. Oh. Triangle. That's it means something. Until September 23rd. I'm sorry. Until September 1923, his readings were not systematically recorded or preserved. So. That's the research I got. I got that. Oh, so also my sources are also edgarcayce.org and Wikipedia. I got lots, so I mean I couldn't not room to fit any other sources. So anyway, so they were not systematically recorded or preserved. However, an article published in the Birmingham Post Herald on October 10th, 1922 quotes Cayce as saying that he had given 8,056 readings as of that date, and it is known that he had gave approximately 13,000 to 14,000 readings after that date. A total of 14,306 are available at the ARE Cayce headquarters in Virginia Beach and on an online members only section with the background information, correspondence, and follow-up documentation. Other abilities that may have attributed to Cayce include astral projection, prophesying, mediumship, which you already explained, viewing the Akashic records or the Book of Life, and seeing auras. Auras are the glow that matter gives, or that a living body gives. There's this. What's that?
I said your aura keeps changing. I'm just kidding. It's your chair.
Oh yeah. RGB.
Buddy.
It's scientifically speaking, every object gives off black body radiation, which is also kind of an aura thing, and is visible on a particular type of spectrum. So there is scientific explanation for a person being able to view aura depending on what is going on in their optic receptors or whatever. I hear a lot of people
say, like, on a full moon you can go out and see it too. Is that true? You ever tried it?
I've never done that. You mean see an aura around the moon?
Like a color, like I'm not gonna remember all of it. I'm gonna sound crazy. I'm not saying anything. But if you go out and like on a full moon, like I don't know, in the middle of the night, you should be able to see your own aura color.
Oh, your own.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll try it next time. I'll let you know. I'll report back.
Okay. So Casey said that he had become interested in learning more about these subjects after he was informed about the content of his readings, which he reported that were never actually heard himself.
Oh,
Next page. So these are prophecies that he got right. I've got 7, and these are on a big list on that website.
Yeah.
So he evidently predicted the stock market crash of 1929 in February of 1925 during a life reading for a 26-year-old physician. Cayce stated that the young doctor would soon find himself in possession of a great deal of money. The reading advised that the individual do exercise caution and discretion in caring for his wealth, especially in the face of adverse forces that will come then in 1929. On another occasion, in March 1929, 6 months before the stock market crash, a New York stockbroker was given a severe warning of the impending great disturbance in financial circles that was about to take place. Cayce stated, "We may expect a considerable break and bear market C. This issue being between those of the reserves of nations and of individuals, and will cause, unless another of the more stable banking conditions come to the relief, a great disturbance in financial circles. This warning has been given." See? See, he says see like from Red Dragon, like, do you see?
That lingered. That's nice. Nice lingered.
Okay, yeah. World War II. In 1935, in an amazing let me go back real quick though. So this is kind of this is a bit ambiguous, his prophecy with the stock market, but I mean I don't know, it's ambiguous.
Sometimes it all does.
Yeah. So in 1935, in an amazing display of precognitive perception, Edgar Cayce warned a 29-year-old freight agent of catastrophic events that were building within the international community. In response to a question regarding global affairs, the readings describe an entire world at war. Although not seeing the picture as necessarily an unchangeable destiny, Cayce warned that tendencies in the hearts and souls of men are such that these conditions could be brought about. As to the affairs of an international nature, these we find are in a condition of great anxiety on the part of many, not only as individuals, but as two nations. I mean, I remember, well, I'll continue on with this. And the activities that have already begun have assumed such proportions that there is to be the attempt upon the part of groups to penalize or to make for the associations of groups to carry on same. This will make for the taking of sides, as it were, by various groups or countries or governments. This will be indicated by the Austrians, Germans, and later the Japanese joining in their influence, unseen and gradually growing to those affairs where there must become, as it were, almost a direct opposition to that which has been the theme of the Nazi, the Aryan, for these will gradually make for a growing of animosities. And unless there is an interference from what may be called by many the supernatural forces and influences that are active in the affairs of nations and peoples, the whole world, as it were, will be set on fire by the militaristic groups and those that are for power and expansion in such associations. So,
What's your third eye telling you?
I think that this guy was, so far what I see is a guy who is super perceptive about certain things, especially big social events. Right now in America, I mean, and worldwide, if you're paying attention to the news and understanding the flow of intentions from at least the 80s until now, it's seems pretty clear what's about to happen. I'm not going to make any predictions here or anything, but everything seems to be happening in a particular fashion that is predictable. And I think that he tapped into something like that too, because
everything kind of repeats itself too.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you're totally right with that. I mean, it's not hard to say that, oh, there's going to be a war.
Yeah.
Of course there's going to be a war.
We're coming back.
We're fucking human. We're fucking awful.
I believe this will be my season again.
What's that?
I said, I was just, you missed it. Maybe
Oh,
here.
well, okay.
You just keep going.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I think he was just able to read the writing on the wall very well. So number 3, this is interesting. Not quite accurate, but not quite off either. And we talked about this one.
Ooh.
Excuse me. Burping. Yeah. Pole shift. Question. What great change or the beginning of what change people would ask him questions while he was sleeping, and he would respond. What great change, or the beginning of what change, if any, is to take place in the earth in the year 2000 to 2001 AD? His answer, when there is a shifting of the poles or a new cycle begins, given August 11th, 1936. We talked about this, the pole shift. So Nova, just so everybody knows, pole shift is it's happened before. It's entirely survivable. It's scary. It would probably be scary, and wouldn't know what to fucking do for a little while, but
kind of sounds like this year anyways. We're all kind of scared and we all don't know what to do.
Yeah. So but a pole shift will hurt, but it's survivable. So Nova, the PBS television program, reported startling discoveries about our planet's electromagnetic poles and fields. The program was titled Magnetic Storm and was given and produced by David Sington. The reason this is of interest to us is that Edgar Cayce predicted that the beginning of the new ice age would coincide with the beginning of a pole shift. In this Nova show, scientists explain 2,000 miles beneath our feet is the Earth's molten core. Here, a vast ocean of liquid iron generates an invisible force, the Earth's magnetic field. It's what makes our compass point north, but it does a lot more. It helps to keep the Earth a living planet. Our neighbors, Venus and Mars, have only weak magnetic fields, which means they're unprotected from the deadly radiation sweeping through the solar system, given off by the sun. The Earth, on the other hand, exists within a vast magnetic cocoon, the force field that for billions of years has sheltered us on through our journey through space. And there's a lot more. I don't need to go into that, but basically because we have a molten iron core and it's rotating, we have a magnetic field. That's what happens when you have that situation anywhere. And it does protect us from harmful rays from the sun.
Thank you.
So during a pole shift, what's suggested is that will weaken, and a lot more harmful radiation will hit the Earth for a limited amount of time. A magnetosphere is what we're talking about, will be regenerated over a matter of time. We have no idea how long that takes. It could be a day, could be hours, could be months, could be years. Don't know. But
what kind of sunscreen do I need? Just kidding.
Stay inside. Don't be in Florida.
Yeah. There.
But because nothing will happen to keep our core from being molten or turning, it will regenerate and reprotect, and so things would get back to normal.
All right. Well, fair enough. That's why I always have a supply. I can get through. I have learned. I'm not like a doomsday prepper. I got screwed by hurricane my first year here prepper. So I always have gas chilling in the garage, and I always have enough diapers, food, wipes, water to get through at least 10 days. Always. So maybe we should all do that in case this happens tomorrow.
So these cosmic events, there is, and not to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy.
Wait.
There's nothing that humans can do to protect themselves from cosmic events.
Nothing.
Nope. We are totally at the mercy of them. You can get all the diapers and paper towels and toilet paper and milk you want. It won't. Yeah.
Well, that's a drag.
Yeah.
So.
Enjoy life right now.
Okay.
So he predicted the convergence of communication companies. The following reading given in 1929 is an interesting one on the convergence of large communication companies. These mergers did indeed occur. Also, Cayce's description of how varied channels of communications working in a more cooperative and structured manner has come to pass. He says, the question is, will the consolidations take place of the communication companies as given in 1928? American Tel and Intel, Tel and Tel. These are different names of the same or of these different companies. The answer is these combinations in communicative forces, as has been, will take place. As to when and how, consider the conditions as prevent such a condition at the time. He goes on to say a bunch of shit of how these companies do merge, and they did, and yay.
Yay.
The life of the Essenes. Edgar Cayce described the Essenes in detail many years before the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Texts attributed to a then little-known sect called the Essenes. The first of the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947, 2 years after Edgar Cayce's death. Cayce mentioned the Essenes in 171 different readings. Here is an excerpt. Before this, we find the entity was during those periods when there was much turmoil in the land of Judea, when there was the announcing of the prophet of the new teacher, and all Judea had gone out to John. The entity was then among those that had been of the students of the Essenes, and in direct connection with many that had been prophesying, had been searching the records or for the coming of the new light to those that had been hemmed in by tradition and by the acts of peoples and a political and religious purpose in the land. Yay.
There it is. See, I tried to read through this. I was like, well, okay.
He predicted blood used as a diagnostic tool. During the course of a physical reading given for an individual, the reading foresaw future medical advancements that might make diagnosis from a drop of blood a possibility. The reading was given in 1927 at the time when the prediction would have been considered the makings of science fiction. For, as a scene, there is no condition existent in a body that the reflection of same may not be traced in the supply of blood. For not only does the bloodstream carry the rebuilding forces to the body, it also takes the used forces and eliminates same through their proper channels in the various portions of the system. Hence, when we find red blood, white blood, and the lymph all carried in the veins, these are only separated by the very small portions that act as builders, strainers, destroyers, or resuscitation portions of the systems. See? Hence, there is ever seen in the bloodstream the reflections or evidences of that condition being carried on in the physical body. The day may yet arrive when one may take a drop of blood and diagnose the condition of any physical body. That's just good reasoning.
I mean, yeah.
He also, lastly, predicted the El Nino and La Nina effect.
Yeah.
You know what? He did, and I don't need to read it. Go to the fucking website. I already sourced it, but he did. He was right. Yay.
Yeah.
So now we get to things that were of controversy tonight.
Oh.
Wow.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah. His meat and potatoes.
Ew.
Dick and balls. Controversy. Cayce advocated some controversial ideas in his trance readings. In many trance sessions, he interpreted the history of life on Earth. One of Cayce's controversial claims was that of polygenism. Polygenism? I think it's polygenism. Anyway, according to Cayce, 5 human races, white, black, red, brown, and yellow, had been created separately but simultaneously on different parts of the Earth. Just to note that is also a Scientologist belief too.
Yeah, you mentioned that there were similarities. I don't know enough about them.
I don't know a lot about Scientology. I have a couple of Scientologist friends with whom I've spoken and stuff. I think all religion is ridiculous, but I think Scientology is also particularly ridiculous.
Something I didn't know, they own like all of Clearwater, Florida. Did you know that?
I know they have a lot of holdings. I know they have a ton of holdings. Like
like everything in Clearwater.
If we get on their bad side, like
they're on their I don't listen to the radio very often. But it was like on, and they have like commercials for their churches and stuff just on like regular ass radio. I'm like, what the? It's just so bizarre. Like it's not something you hear like
church
that.
Commercials. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. That was me rewinding.
So Cayce also accepted the existence of aliens and Atlantis. Those are both concepts that I also accept. I don't accept the existence of Atlantis like that. There's beings in Atlantis that are wiser than us. That's not what I believe. I just believe that there was an Atlantis that fell into the sea. But aliens, absolutely. You can't reason away. It's more reasonable that aliens are here watching us than it's not. And claimed that the red race developed in Atlantis and its development was rapid. So he's saying that Native Americans were Atlanteans. Another claim by, well, and there might be some truth to their Atlantis was somewhere in the North America, and I don't know.
Heaven.
I mean, maybe he was right about other shit. Another claim by Cayce was that soul entities on Earth intermingled with animals to produce things such as giants that were as much as 12 feet tall. Soul entities, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I actually did start looking up extra hyperspectral life forms. There's nothing on that. But what I mean by that are life forms that exist outside of the human visible spectrum that are there, but you can't see because they are, infrared or gamma or something.
I will never know enough you'll be able to guess. So never mind, because I'm terrible at movies. Keep going. Sorry.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. I guess your stuff pretty correctly so far.
I know. Okay, I'll try. So I remember so little. It was poorly made, so it had to have been like a 70s probably movie.
Because the only shit was back then. They only had shit. It was all shit, just shit. Everything was brown, the polyester, and shitty movies.
It took place in it had to have been like a Hollywood kind of a thing. And they, I don't remember the backstory, but the guys are walking outside and they get these like glasses that are kind of like, they just look like 3D glasses. It's like red, blue. But when they put them on, like certain people and certain advertisements are like exposed as like literally lizard people. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should go back and try and find this shit. And I hope you know what it is, because it would probably be interesting to watch now. But they could see
about the show V, the TV show V.
I don't think it was a movie. Oh man, I'm gonna Google everything I just said in the search bar and see what pops up.
It was made for a movie, made for TV movie.
I wish I could remember.
And actually, they remade it recently-ish, and it was really good. And they stopped. I think it was during the writer's strike. But anyway, yeah, look up what you said, and then look up the movie or the show V. It's just called V.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to. Because now that I'm thinking about it, and I don't remember why it popped into my head, so sorry.
That's all right.
That's me. That's pretty much it.
And the whole giants is 12 feet tall. I've been seeing more and more credible evidence that was a actual thing. And
yes, why did they hide that? I did a little dive on it a while back about like giants and why they like hide, because there's like bones and like skeletons they've come across just like dinosaurs that are like giants. Why do they hide that?
So the answer to that is we talked about forgotten ancient civilizations, North American civilizations. Did you listen to that one?
I believe so, yes.
The reason that they are ancient and lost and everything is because the Europeans totally whitewashed because they don't fit in with the Christian narrative. As well as giants, and that kind of lost ideas and stuff.
But giants are like, what about David and Goliath? What, isn't he a giant? Like they talk all kinds of like big giant people and armies and.
Yes, and I can't speak for Christian logic.
What it sounds like is I can't speak for the 10% that are so crazy that they're trying to cover stuff that's clearly in the Bible. I don't understand. Everyone's so weird. Oh God, I don't know. All right, sorry. That's not.
So historian Olaf Hammer wrote that many of Cayce's readings discussed race and skin color, and according to Hammer, the explanation for this is that Cayce was not a racist, but was influenced by the occult ideas of Madame Blavatsky. That's somebody we should cover. She is super interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Ukrainian, I think. Russian. Something Eastern European, Russian, maybe, but she's super cool or interesting. So in his 2003 book, The Skeptic's Dictionary, philosopher and skeptic Robert Todd Carroll wrote, Cayce is one of the main people responsible for some of the sillier notions about Atlantis. Carroll mentioned some of Cayce's ideas, including his belief in a giant solar crystal activated by the sun. like solar power, and used to harness energy and provide power on Atlantis. And his prediction that in 1958, the United States would rediscover a death ray that had been used on Atlantis. But Tesla, he died around that time and claimed to have a death ray, and that those patents and that invention was confiscated by the U.S. government. Just so you know.
Keep that tucked away.
Yeah. So in the 1930s, Cayce also incorrectly predicted that North America would experience chaos. Los Angeles, San Francisco would be among those that would be destroyed before New York. These events were to have happened in the period 58 to 98. Within those 40 years. Okay. Some could say that America has been destroyed there. I'm not saying that. Other people have said that. So some of his other criticisms are skeptics challenge Cayce's alleged psychic abilities. Medical health experts are critical of Cayce's unorthodox treatments, which they regard as quackery. Yeah, like his first diagnosis. He diagnosed himself that he should sleep while he was sleeping.
Well, I mean, it might not have just been that he should sleep. He might have done like a weird salts pack with like bay or leaves or some shit. I don't know, but
he just needed rest, and that's what worked. Everything else was just icing. Science writers and skeptics have suggested that the evidence for Cayce's alleged psychic powers come from contemporaneous newspaper articles, affidavits, anecdotes, testimonials, and books. Martin Gardner, for example, wrote that while Cayce's trances did happen, most of the information from his trances were derived from books that Cayce had been reading by authors such as Carl Jung, P.D. Ouspensky, and Helena Blavatsky. Gardner's hypothesis was that the trance rating of Cayce contained little bits of information gleaned from here and there in the occult literature, spiced with occasional novelties from Cayce's unconscious, which, yeah, that tracks with me. And he might have been right, and he's just been a kind of smart guy who got a lot of things right. Michael Shermer writes, and why people believe weird things. Uneducated beyond the ninth grade, Cayce acquired his broad knowledge through voracious reading, and from this he wove elaborate tales. Shermer wrote that Cayce was fantasy prone from his youth, often talking with angels and receiving visions from his dead grandfather. Magician James Randi has said that Cayce was fond of expressions like "I feel that" and "perhaps," qualifying words used to avoid positive declarations. Examination.
Sorry, real quick, in case you change subject and then it doesn't fit it anymore.
Sorry.
Don't you think if he obviously read a lot because he could sleep on books and know them, to have that much knowledge, fictional or not, that many ideas, you could piece together all kinds of shit that could come through because it's bound to happen again. So
absolutely. Well, and for instance, the discovery of a death ray in 58 and knowing that Tesla had the same thing at about that same time, that kind of shit. I know that kind of stuff from reading different stuff myself. So why wouldn't he? Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes that's right. I did just have 7 right predictions out of how many? 14,000? I mean, that's batting 1,000, isn't it? Anyway. He guessed 7 right out of 14,000. Anyway, Cayce was, so blah, blah. Examinations of the readings do not show qualifying terms. Investigator Joe Nickel has noted, although Cayce was never subjected to proper testing, ESP pioneer Joseph B. Rhine of Duke University, who should have been sympathetic to Cayce's claims, was unimpressed. A reading that Cayce gave for Rhine's daughter was notably inaccurate. Frequently, Cayce was even... You witnessed that cough. Like and subscribe.
Was that it?
No. Frequently, Cayce was even wider off the mark, as when he provided diagnosis of subjects who had died since the letters requesting the readers were sent. Science writer Karen Stolznow has written, the reality is that his cures were hearsay and his treatments were folk remedies that were useless at best and dangerous at worst. Cayce wasn't able to cure his own cousin or his own son, which we did not get into. We should have, but we didn't. You know what? Higher minds.
Oh, I did read
Stoners.
That. I was covering his early life.
Casey wasn't able to cure his own cousin or his own son who died as a baby. God damn. I didn't know that. I should have known that. And many of Casey's readings took place after the patient had already died. I did know that. Traditional Christians are critical of Casey's views on issues such as reincarnation, oneness, and Akashic records. However, I'm critical of a lot of Christian views, so fuck them.
Whoa.
Not fuck them. That's not what I meant to say.
He didn't. I know that to be true. Fuck some of them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all people. I don't like religion.
We all sin different. That's all.
Yeah, that's mine, I guess. I'm cool with it.
I'll be that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, do you have anything else?
No.
Any other points you want to make?
I did. Okay, I just this one thing because I thought it was interesting, and I don't know why. Out of all 14,000, plus readings, they all broke down into 5 categories: health-related. What?
You were saying that.
Oh yeah.
Pointing at you in declaration.
Well, when it's on there, will we be like this? Will we be pointing to the wrong thing or we'll be like side by side, and you'll look like you're pointing at nothing.
No, I'm pointing at you right now. You have to point that way. Wait, point in a direction.
Okay.
No, that's pointing at me. No, just one. Point in one direction. That's pointing at me. So now people will be. Do you see me on that side?
I'm at the top on mine, and you're on the bottom.
Oh no, you're on the left, and that's what people are going to see.
Oh, who knows? So health-related information, reincarnation and philosophy, dreams and dream interpretation, ESP, and psychic phenomenon, and spiritual growth, meditation, and prayer. So,
Fucking cool.
dream interpretation is very interesting to me. I'm forever like dream dictionarying everything.
What I know about dream interpretation is it's super subjective, and it's per person.
It all is. It all is. But sometimes it's fun. It's like reading your horoscope. It might be bullshit, but sometimes it's so spot on. You're like, oh, that's crazy.
Sure,
But,
sure. Do it if you like it. It doesn't hurt nobody.
Nope. So cool. That was interesting. I did not know him, so it was an interesting read. I was like read through that website like the first night of like researching when I knew what we were going to do, because it was an easy read. It was interesting fellow, and there's a lot of information out there because it was also well documented. So
yeah, it was
pretty cool. So heck yeah.
Cool. That's basically a religion. The ARE is basically a religion dedicated to him. So
yeah,
he's
it seems
still
like it.
going strong. So I want to do some HMP business. We are going to be concentrating more on YouTube and YouTube production and stuff. Not to say that our audio is still going to be on SoundCloud and iTunes and where else?
Spotify.
Yep. So be there. But YouTube. YouTube will be fun. Check us out there.
The video.
We are going to be getting better at this. This is our first one. So I think we got a good basis for how to podcast. We don't know how to video, so like and subscribe.
Boop, 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 boop. Like and subscribe. Okay, so Ace watches a lot of little YouTube videos, and I'll hear him like in there like cracking himself up playing his game, and he'll be like and subscribe. Like, oh, it's so funny to me. Every time he does something good in the game, he's like and subscribe. It's funny. And you should do that too.
Well, yeah, like my when my kids start seeing this and shit, not the video or when they do, or when they see this happening, they're gonna make fun of me.
Yeah, probably.
Doing that shit.
Especially when you
YouTube
like
shit.
as soon as you rub this off.
I'm so sad.
It was funny. I just watched it happen. Like,
maybe it was that made me more of a skeptic of Casey, that I rubbed it off. I grew it, and then I just rubbed it off.
Now. He's not gonna be feeling it. That's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, check us out at highermindspodcast.com.
Email us. Links to all the things there.
All of them.
All of them.
This will probably be on there.
Boop.
Yeah.
Little package.
Videos.
Little package.
Your brother doesn't have a unit.
Stop. Yes, he does. I'm sure of it.
Have you seen it?
No.
Well, then how do you know?
You know, as a baby, that's facts. I changed his diaper. I'm 8 years older than him, so
Are you? Oh, are you? Okay.
yeah. We are 8 years and 6 days apart.
So your sister knows that you have a unit. She's seen it, and we are asking what you have named it. What is the name of your unit?
We are. I'm thankful for you. And
No, seriously. Thank you for you and all you guys. And hi,
you're awesome.
this is our first one. Watch
Yeah.
us. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell everybody back in the States
Fun.
and everywhere you
Spread the
visit.
word.
Yeah, we'll have T-shirts and stickers and stuff eventually. And
Yeah, I'm working on that. So cool, beans.
you're working on that? Oh, that's
yeah,
news to me.
Doing some checking.
Sticker shit. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody. This has been the Higher Minds podcast.
Ooh.
Just keep me. I'm right there.
Take two.
I'm Papa Darby.
And I'm Katie.
Deuces.
Bye.